Gerald, yes? After our last successful campaign, anything is possible.
And I say to you that what we need is more Christmases and Thanksgiving. I want to get basted. Now, who's with me?
Now we only need to find the perfect patriotic halfwit to run as our coffee grinder candidate for president. Which we will back with $1 billion and take ownership of Congress and the White House and deregulate to our heart's content. You have a heart, brother. You softy.
Oh, my bowels. Oh, where do those assholes go? Man, I'm gonna drop a bomb out my ass that would melt the city into glass.
The Coffee Grinder Party is about turning public schools into shoe factories. And, sir, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? Sir, oh my God!
Isn't that the fellow that tried to assassinate the president, urinated on the First Lady, and blew up the Washington Monument? And now he's literally taking a crap on the United States Capitol. I think we may have found our candidate, brother.
Will the creepy billionaire brothers hatch their evil scheme? Will Dick become the next president of the United States? Will Butch become the First Lady? Find out next time, only on Republican Space Rangers.
Don't miss the next episode of Organ Farm, where contestants abduct illegal immigrants to get the life-saving transplant they need. It's heartwarming reality TV. Organ Farm, Thursdays on Weasel. Give the 99% what they really deserve. Avarice. Something to aspire to. The new Serrano. Luxury reasserted.
From the mid-1980s to the early 1990s, it was the greatest time in the history of America. An evacuator, I finally won the Vietnam War with the help of my sidekick Ho Chi Bat and my Indian spirit.
Solution. Therefore, we need to go ahead and stage another invasion. Or is he actually, has he been chastened by the consequences that President Biden outlined in their last call a couple of weeks ago, unplugging Russia from the global financial system, perhaps very severe sanctions on Russian oligarchs or Vladimir Putin himself? We just don't know the question. We do know that Vladimir Putin has a consistent record of aggression. He sees the decline of Russia's influence around the world as a tragedy that he's trying to reverse. So under the George W. Bush administration, he invaded Georgia. Under Barack Obama's administration, he annexed Crimea. They're still in possession of Crimea. So this would be a repeat of what Putin has done before. What Joe Biden has tried to do is rally allies, rally the Ukrainian leader, assure him that the United States has his back and is going to, if in fact Russia invades, they're going to provide more military equipment to the Ukrainians. President Biden has spoken directly to President Zelensky of Ukraine. Yesterday, Secretary of State Blinken had another conversation with President Zelensky. So this is a poker game right now, and I think has some hope that the talks that Putin and Biden will have this afternoon will facilitate further talks next week. But they simply don't know. They didn't raise a lot of expectations on a background call with senior administration official yesterday, not saying that because Putin initiated the call that meant he was ready to engage in serious diplomacy and take a diplomatic off-ramp. They said anytime he asks for a call, we say yes. Anytime we ask for a call, he says yes. That's what leaders of two great powers have to do. So we're going to have to wait and see what comes out of this call, and then more significantly, what happens in those follow-on negotiations next week. The Russians have amassed around 100,000 troops on the border of Ukraine, could go up to 175,000, and if there's going to be an invasion, I think we expect that to be in late January, early February. So the time frame for resolving this is fairly short.
Nick, a few weeks ago, Jake Sullivan said essentially that the Biden administration, the U.S., has leverage over Putin and Russia right now because of Nord Stream 2, that pipeline that if they were to invade eastern Ukraine, Germany could nix it and not rich.
A committed nurse can make a difference.
Yeah, and that point came across again loud and clear yesterday. Putin was having a video conference call with some of his sort of departmental chiefs, and one of them was the head of Gazprom. This was on national television, and the head of Gazprom said again, as we've heard from other Russian officials, Nord Stream 2 is ready to go. It's full of gas, ready to go. I asked this question to the British Foreign Secretary at the G7 summit earlier on in December. The sanctions that the Europeans and the United States are considering against Russia, are you prepared to take economic pain back home? Because let's face it, gas prices across Europe are skyrocketing. It would be extremely painful, politically costly for any government in Europe to forgo what could be as much as 30% of their gas supplies from Russia. Russia has been a supplier of an extremist for the UK within the past couple of years. So I think Russia thinks that this is a gamble on Nord Stream 2 and on gas supplies to Europe that it can roll with, that it can certainly roll with in as much as it can mass 100,000 troops on the border with Ukraine, that it's talking now about having more military exercises in Belarus in February and March that could again draw in hundreds of thousands of troops as they did a few months ago. So, when Russia looks at pressure on Europe and also finding a wedge between Europe and the United States, the gas pipeline is a great one. It's a good pressure point for Russia, and the Russians will look at the situation and see that the United States is sending gas supplies to Europe to offset what shortfall there might be from Russia. So he knows this is a weakness for European leaders. There's only so much pain they can put on Russia through turning off gas supplies.
Joining us now is CNN political and national security analyst David Sanger and CNN Global Affairs analyst Susan Glasser. Thank both of you for getting up to talk to us about this morning. And Susan, I want to start with you because Putin has made this request after yesterday a senior White House official did tell reporters that with respect to de-escalation, quote, we continue to see a significant Russian troop presence in and around the border of Ukraine. So there's no signs of de-escalation. So what are you expecting in this call today?
Well, Caitlin, this is a moment of crisis. I think that's the term that, some were using. It seems apt. There are more than 100,000 troops, as best U.S. intelligence can figure right now, on the border with Ukraine. This is in advance, this conversation between the two leaders. First of all, the second time in 3 weeks they've spoken. That's very unusual. It comes in advance of a January 10th meeting between U.S. and Russian negotiators in Europe, which they just announced earlier this week. So, the diplomatic pieces are in place potentially for Putin to walk back. But right now, what concerns me, and I think many others, is that there's just a mismatch between what Vladimir Putin is asking for is something that is not in the United States' power right now really to give. So there seems to be no way to satisfy Putin's demands, his idea that there can be no NATO presence essentially in any country that he determines to be in the Russian sphere of influence.
Look, David, the question is, what does Putin want? Why does he feel this urgency? And you say there are three theories on which Putin will show up for the call. So tell us about those theories. Let's break them down.
Well, sure, John. So the first is that he's calling to try to defuse this. But as Susan points out, there are still about 100,000 troops on the border. That number hasn't risen much in recent times, as far as we can tell, just looking at commercial satellites, but it also hasn't reduced much. So it doesn't feel like it's the moment for him to say, okay, I was kidding. The second theory is that he believes that he can take President Biden's measure on whether or not they're willing to give in on some of these things, including the critical one that Susan mentioned, which is getting NATO out of nations that used to be part of the Soviet Union, but also whether or not he could get them to allow Ukraine in some way to veer more into his sphere of influence and away from the West. Well, the Ukrainians seem to want to go toward the West. And the third theory is he's just trying to go create a pretext to take military action. in which case he doesn't have a whole lot of time. You know, there's sort of a window when the ground is frozen there when he could move his heavy armor over, and that window sort of opens in late January and closes sometime in March.
Sit back here and laugh, so it is what it is. Another broke, jealous, bitter fire. The game seems to be full of them. I've got nothing but love for everybody up here. You know what I'm saying? It's just bitterness and hate and negativity towards me because of what I'm doing, because of what I'm making. That's all that is. Listening to this joke, I honestly like Nick's little bro. You know what I mean? How can you not like him? He's like a little cholo gangster from the hood. But at the same time, he coaches kids jiu-jitsu on a Sunday morning and goes on bike rides with the elderly. He makes gun signs with the right hand and animal balloons with the left hand. So you're a credit to the community. Fuck you. Fuck you now. I don't give a fuck. I honestly. I was looking to get a new lamp because mine has all these suspicious stains on it. But yeah, like this one here. Well, it needs to be a big one because it has to fit my girlfriend.
Excuse me, guys. Dude, what are you doing? Oh, dude, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Holy crap.
The only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know, it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's actually the real question I want to know.
It sounds like a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify and you'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one.
Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know, it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's actually the real question I want to know.
It sounds like a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify and you'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one.
Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know, it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's actually the real question I want to know.
Wanna mess around in my town, throwing down on the enemy underground, but my name is all around in the ammo, hungry hound in the ammo, wicked cloud in the ammo, with proud to be my motherfucking loud with the boogie over down, so I will not allowed. What the fuck? Jesus, what are you doing?
Sorry.
What's up? Oh, these are from yesterday. Yeah, I gotta get more.
Okay. Good, Annie. I will get one of me, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Your brother's sleeping though, okay? So you gotta be quiet.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy. My name is Brown, and my dad, I'm down on the underground. My name's Brown. UFC is CCP, put you on your knees, get the 133, you'll lose your teeth. When fuck with me on McGehee Street. Bruh. Give me the money. Recently played ooh. Oh, this resurrection, yeah. Alright. I like the resurrections. 55, 52. Wow, there's a few fucking 55s. All right. Cool.